So we're basically going to focus on names. And as we mentioned, names would be great for navigation, formula creation, simplifies formula construction, and absolute references. So whenever you're ready, without further delay, highlight all those salaries. And then follow your instructor up to the Formulas tab, which is on your ribbon. Now, when you get to that section, Formulas, notice over here, and I'll see if I can bring attention to my mouse pointer. See my animated arrow? That kind of helps, right? So you see this little button here, Define Name? And they got another one here. We're not going to use this one, though, but it's called Create from Selection. That one's really cool. Like, if you want to automatically generate names from selected cells. So imagine you got quarterly sales information on your spreadsheet, and then to the left of that, you got the names of the sales reps, last names. So that would be helpful. Or maybe a list of items and how much they cost. You know, those could be your names. So we're going to choose this button, Define Name. So you want to click on that, and look at this. Microsoft Excel assigns the name salary. And the reason for that is simple. D5 has salary, okay? Notice the bottom portion where it says refers to. Equals, that's the name of the worksheet tab, payroll, followed by, that's what the exclamation point means, the absolute reference. How do you know it's absolute? Yeah, that's right. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Good answer. D6 and D20. D6 through D20 is the way you would look at that. So you can click OK, and that will get rid of that dialog box. So how's that a benefit? Well, you'll see in a couple ways. Click a blank cell. Now you see, I heard a bell go off on somebody's computer.
Mine didn't have a name in there.
So again, when you select salary, it should highlight it. But the name of the game is you got to select the cells first, select to effect, before you try to use define name. You can manually create names too. You could have just typed salary. Again, not a big deal if you didn't do it that way. Whatever you decide to do is fine. As long as you can get it to work, that's all that counts. Now imagine you're on a different worksheet. See these other worksheets here? I dare you, go to that last worksheet. I double dare you, date functions. Now go back up to your name box in the left corner and select that name, salary. Look how fast it took you back. Now, if we can get to our house that fast in a car, home, just fly over 95. That'd be cool. Fly over the Delaware Memorial Bridges while we're at it. Not yet. One day, maybe. But that's when our insurance goes sky high. So anyway, again, I'm on another sheet. Check this out. Watch this. I'm going to hit Function 3, F3. That's a shortcut worth writing down if you think you might forget it. What the Function 3 key does, any names that you have in the spreadsheet, whether you created them or not, they're going to be listed in that window. So that's another way. If you can't remember the name, and you just have too many names, you know, in that drop-down menu, try F3. And look at that. Now I'm going back to salary. Whoops. Maybe I'm not. Let me hit Escape. Let me try that again. Function 3. Salary. Click OK. Okay, this thing has a mind of its own, so I'm going to hit Escape. Let me try clicking another cell. Function 3. And this is kind of nice if you're building into a formula. See, it thinks you want to build like a function. You know, this is interesting. So I'm going to hit Escape. But that I will actually have you use when we set up our calculations. It'll make more sense to do F3 when we get to that point. So without further delay, go to your name box, if necessary, choose salary. The name box doesn't assume build a function or a formula. You see how it doesn't make that assumption? It assumes navigation right away. Big difference when you're using F3. F3 would be cool like if you're in the middle or about to be in the middle of a calculated driven cell. But the name box would be good for what we just tried to do. Sorry about that. Okay. So we know that salary constitutes cells D6 through D20, right? Now, let's put in some work into this. Let's go to G3. What they want to know right off the bat, who's the highest and lowest paid? What's the average salary? And what's our total salary? Now, I'm going to zoom in to make this easier. So when you're looking at my screen, it doesn't, you know, strain your eyes. So the first thing you're going to do, and we're going to type this because it's not really that hard to do. We're going to type on G3 equals max. Remember the maximum function from like a week or two ago? And if not, it's fine. Tells you right here, largest value will be returned. So you're going to add your left paren, right? Now remember the shortcut, F3. This is when it would really be beneficial. This is where it would be appropriate. So there's the name right there. You got to select it, right? Click OK. Look how it highlights all the salaries. See the rangefinder, the blue bordered box, blue border box. Now I'm going to hit enter. What's my highest paid? 84,000, right? 700. How's everybody doing? Good?
Mine did not highlight.
All right, so just getting back to our payroll spreadsheet. Now we're going to focus on the lowest salary. So watch how I do this example. This might be better for you too. So I'm coming up here to my ribbon under formulas. This is my bottom auto sum. Look, min, right? Now is that right? No, of course it's not. That's all wrong. So I want to get rid of the G3. Now watch what happens when I start to type salary. Oh my gosh, look at that. It comes up on my computer screen. So what should I do? How should I act on that? I should double click it, or you can hit F3, whatever makes you more comfortable. Equals min, left paren, salary, right paren. If you forget the parenthesis, not a big deal. It'll add it for you. So the next one, average salary. First of all, how did everybody do with the lowest? We good? Okay. So again, it's same thing. Let me go back, just repeat it. So I'm on, what is that, G4? Come up here to auto sum. The bottom auto sum, not the top. That's sum. You don't want to sum it. You want to do your min. And then if you look at the syntax, that's wrong. The G3 is wrong. Everything else is good to go. So I'm going to do SA. And then I stop because, look, anytime you see a yellow ticket with a name, you just double click. You might have 5 of them showing up with the same first 2 letters. But even still, you can just double click it and it knows that you want to reference D6 through D20. Everybody good to go? Make sense?
Okay.
Crowd go wild? Yay! All right, so I'm going to hit enter. All right, somebody walk me through the next one. Any volunteers? All right, we have a volunteer in the back of the class. Good deal.
Are we doing average?
Yes.
Equals
Okay.
average,
Okay.
open parentheses, salary, close parentheses.
Got it. So I'm just putting this in. Equals average, left paren, salary, right paren. Now again, you don't have to put the right in, but it's a good habit, especially when you get into multiple functions, like nested functions. All right, I need one more volunteer, somebody different for this one. I want to get my totals. All these numbers added up together. Anybody?
Use the sum function.
Right, we're going to use the sum function. Good. So I'm going to use my auto sum because I don't feel like typing it. And then I'm going to click over here. I need to get rid of this cell reference. It always assumes the adjacent cells. So again, you could do F3 or you could type salary, or once you see it on the screen, you can left double click. So it's equals sum, left paren, salary, right parenthesis, and then enter. So what is your answer? Anybody?
736, 330.
You got it. Boy, I wish that was in my checking account. Really my savings, though. The interest rate would help a little bit. All right, so I'm going to save my file. But you can see how helpful names can be. I mean, reality is it's great if you have a large spreadsheet. You know, if you don't want to have to go back and painstakingly reselect the cells. If you want to navigate, switch from this sheet to that sheet. Believe me when I tell you, it makes a huge difference. Okay? Not for nothing, it's always absolute reference. But that's one of the issues. Let's say I was recently hired to work in the IT / the training department, right? That's me. And I was just hired today. So what's my salary? I don't know. Oh, how I wish it was this. Now, it's not formatted like the other cells. I'm going to share with you a really neat tip. Check out my screen. Right? Watch this. See where it says admin? Under the ribbon tab, which is called home. See that little format painter icon? I'm going to copy the formatting from one cell to another. So watch this. I'm going to click that paintbrush where it says admin. And watch this. I'm going to click, hold. Whoops, wait a minute. Click, hold, and drag. I highlighted too much, so see what it did? It messed me up. So what do? Just undo. Now, again, there's the admin. So let me hit escape. And I'm going to do this again, this time with a little more feeling. So I got admin. I'm going to go to my format painter. And I'm just simply put, I'm just going to click on A21. Now, when you're dealing with different types of data, you shouldn't try to copy it the way that I did. Just learn by my mistakes and you'll be A-okay. So I'm going to click on the date, go to Format Painter, come down to the other date. You know, when you get a little inconsistencies like this, you should address them as immediately as you can, as quickly as you can. Same thing with the numbers. You click on that cell, click the paintbrush, and then click this number. What a wonderful world. See that? Don't assume that the cells are going to know to look like the ones that are above it. It doesn't usually work like that in Excel. So what do you think of the Format Painter? Gotta love it. I just added a new employee, okay? But if you notice, the salary here is $85,000, but according to this is the highest paid. So we know that this is wrong, right? Right. So what can I do about that? Well, take a look at my screen. I'm under the Formulas tab. Over here, this is called the Name Manager. This is where you can delete, edit, create the names in your workbook, right? So if you're following along, it's called the Name Manager. Go to the Formulas tab, click this button, Name Manager. You know how easy this is? All I have to do is change that 0 to a 1. See at the end where it says like $$21? That's it. But don't click this button here, close, and assuming that's going to be all right. You see this button here where it says refers to? There's like an X and a check mark. That's your OK button. Although it doesn't say it, but that's what it is. So you got to click on that. So, and for the longest time, I used to click close thinking that everything was fine. Oh, boy, was I wrong. So you just got to make sure, you know, you don't assume that close is like say, okay, because it's not. It's almost like you just say cancel. And that's okay to do if you're not sure what to do. But I'm going to click close. And look, it updated automatically. That's the power of Excel, my friends. You don't need an eraser. You know, this is all done electronically. So it knows to make this high salary now 85. Okay? Just like if I were to change one of these salaries, let's say a little bit lower. Let's say customer service is, I don't know, 30,000. Right? Well, now look, it updates that one too. Remember, that was our minimum function, right? Big difference. Look at the total salary. That's updated as well. So I don't know how likely you are to use names, but from my experience with Excel, I like it. I wish more people would use them in their spreadsheets. A lot of people will build formulas that are somewhat complex. And it's a shame because they're great. But the thing about being self-taught, you only know what you taught yourself. So you don't really know about the advantage of names until you've had someone tell you about it, or you saw a video on YouTube, or you took this class, or a class. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to save this. And it's almost it's 14 minutes before the next hour. Time flies. Wow. So let's do this. Let's go to the next, not the next worksheet, but let's come over to this one. It's called Sum If. Sum If. So we're just going to go ahead and take a look at that one. All right? And then you can save your file. And let's take like a quick 5-minute break. Let's take a quick 5-minute break.